Welcome, Nomads, to the Nomad Nation Network. I am your host and fellow Nomad, Step Van Rav. This is Nomad News for Wednesday, January the 8th, 2020. Before we get started, guys, do me a little favor. Look right down there. Click that little red subscribe button. Be sure to click the little bell next to it. It'll give you a new notification every single time that we upload a new video. That way you stay in the know when it comes to everything in the Nomad Nation. Now, to our first story. All right, guys, I just wanted to give a quick preview of what's coming up on Nomad Nation, my other YouTube channel. This is a new inverter for the Snap-on truck. It is a Cooper BUSSMANN. This is supposed to be a really good brand. I guess a lot of truckers use them in the cabs of their trucks. This is a pure sine wave 1000-watt inverter. It is a 12-volt model, and I basically bought this as a temporary inverter for my truck because I'm going to be installing, which I already have, a 5-in-1 unit that has a 2400-watt inverter that's a 24-volt. But because it's expensive and it's a more complicated install, I haven't got it done. And so I bought this one to hold me over until I can get my 24-volt system installed. So I'm going to be unboxing this thing on Nomad News. And I will say I will be doing a review of it after I use it for a couple of weeks. I'm going to try to get my little residential refrigerator going once I have this thing installed. And we'll be giving you guys a review on this thing, and one reason is you don't find this particular model. It's a lot like a Xantrex, but you don't find this particular model very much on YouTube, the Cooper BUSSMANN. But it is a pure sine wave inverter. It's got an auto change, so if you plug into shore power, it's got an auto transfer switch, so it'll transfer over to shore power and it'll charge your batteries, I do believe. And this thing right now is on eBay, brand new, for like $125, which is insane for a pure sine wave inverter. So I'm not getting paid by Cooper BUSSMANN. They have not contacted me. This thing was purchased, and it's not a paid promotion or anything. So anyway, if you want to see me unbox this thing, head on over to my other YouTube channel, Nomad Nation. All right, guys, our very first story in the news is going to involve a VanLife YouTuber named TASHA Teeling. TASHA is a small YouTuber with just over 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully she's gotten monetized. You know, YouTube can drag their feet when it comes to that sometimes. Hopefully she's monetized, but we're talking about TASHA because she is getting ready to paint her van. And not only is she getting ready to paint her van, she actually prepped the van herself and got it all ready to paint. She stayed up all day, it looks like, in her last video, and it's not a very long video. And she looked pretty exhausted and pretty spent. Made the statement that she tried to get somebody to bring her some food, and they just basically said no. So I know TASHA. I found TASHA through, she's come into my live stream, and I've been subscribed to her channel for a while now. She prepped her van herself and has got it ready to paint, and it looks like she's going to be spraying it kind of out in public. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out for her, but hopefully it works out great. I just want to send some of you guys over there if you're looking for a real VanLifer that doesn't, is not about all glitz and glamour and isn't putting on a facade for van life. You might be interested in watching TASHA's videos. Go check out TASHA Teeling's channel. Oh, as always, I will link it below. Enter next story. All right, guys, our next story is going to be another small YouTuber, Butterfly Gypsy. Some of you may know Butterfly Gypsy. She had some problems getting to Arizona in her older Dodge camper van. I believe it's a Dodge. Yeah, I believe it's a Dodge camper van. Gosh, I seen it at, or her RV. It's an older RV. I seen it at, gosh, I seen it at the Van Build and I seen it at Boondockers Bash. I actually stopped and knocked on her door when I was leaving Boondockers Bash the last day as I was pulling out. I stopped and knocked on her door, but she was out on a hike with several other nomads, so I actually missed her, but I'm sure I might actually run into her at RTR. Anyway, Butterfly Gypsy, another small YouTuber. I'm trying to cover some small YouTubers that you might not have heard of in this segment of Nomad News, because that's what I want to do, is help the community, help small YouTubers, help everybody grow. And Butterfly Gypsy has 797 subscribers, so a couple of hundred more and she'll be able to get monetization, and I'm sure she'd be excited about that. But in her latest video, one of the nomads there, she's in Arizona still, around Quartzsite, from what I gather from her latest video, and one of the nomads, somebody that they did not even know, her group, she ended up getting stuck. Yeah, the other nomad ended up getting stuck in the sand. So that's something to really think about with RTR coming up, is the sand in Quartzsite. You think you can drive through it. It looks like it's hard ground. And a lot of places in the desert it is hard ground. So if you haven't been to Quartzsite, this is something to think about. Don't always just assume that it's hard ground, because sometimes it looks like it's hard ground and you pull into it and it's actually deep, soft sand. So it's very easy to get stuck. And one of the van dwellers got stuck, and Butterfly Gypsy and about 4 or 5 other nomads got out there and literally put their back into it and helped this other nomad get unstuck. And I have a little bit of footage from that, so you can check it out. And we're going to roll that right now. Let's roll it.
So a fellow nomad got stuck out here in their vans, so we've been trying to dig them out. I just took off my fingernail right down to the nail bed, so I was doing that and figured I'd grab the camera and show you guys what nomads do for other nomads.
Almost. Yeah! Then that happened. Yep. We hurt each other when we fall. I remember that. We did it! Yeah.
Oh, you got it.
I like to get on her wrist.
I can get up. Look at that. Wow.
We all had a part in this one.
So there you go. Butterfly Gypsy and her pals helped a nomad get unstuck. How about that? That's a great thing when the nomad community comes together to help someone out. So anyway, help out Butterfly Gypsy. Head over to her channel. As always, it's going to be linked in the description down below. Head over to Butterfly Gypsy's channel. Tell her Nomad News sent you. And be sure and give her a comment, a like, and subscribe if you like her videos. Check out a video. If you like it, subscribe. All right, guys. Our next story takes a more somber turn. It is going to involve a very popular little VW. She's a very pretty YouTuber. Her name is Suzi Cruz. But Susie has had a rough start to the new year. She's got a very cute little VW bus van that she lives in. And she's decorated it very nicely. It was just a super cute little bug. I watched her videos a lot a couple of years ago. I haven't watched them that much anymore because I'm not following the Volkswagen thing as much anymore. I got on a Volkswagen kick for a while, so I was watching everybody with Volkswagens. That's how I got to be really good friends with Wonderbus. Susie is a European van dweller, and she was in Scotland, I believe, and headed back for the holidays to see her boyfriend in, I believe, London, somewhere in the UK anyway. And sad, Susie was actually hit by a drunk driver. Hit from behind. Run into her from behind, and not only did a drunk driver hit her, the drunk driver left his vehicle and fled the scene. So Susie's van is in very bad shape. It's not totaled, even though there's a good chance the insurance will probably total it. It's really not totaled, but it's in pretty bad shape. The inside was completely ransacked and threw around. She had a really cute little wood-burning stove in her van, and it looks like it's destroyed probably. You know, Susie's got a lot of subscribers. You can go back like 4 years on her channel to some of her older van life some of her older van life videos. She's got almost 200,000 subscribers. She's at 193,000 subscribers. So she's got to be doing okay on YouTube. But unfortunately, this is a lot of added expense for her. She doesn't know what the insurance is going to do for her if they do anything. She's very much in limbo. She was super, super upset. She recorded some stuff when the accident happened and she was crying, and it was really sad to see what she was going through.
Right, okay. Okay, she was.
I mean, with the airbags deployed in the vehicle, that's everything going.
5295. Just a wee update for you. We've got one patient in the back of our vehicle just now. No major concerns at the minute. Seems to be okay.
Just calm your breathing down now. So you're breathing too fast at the minute. Right. So see when you breathe in, you just hold it for a couple of seconds for 22, and that's it, then blow it out like you're blowing a straw.
Just check, we're at the back over. Cheers, thanks.
It's I don't know what to do. Guys, I'm okay. I have no injuries. Penya's okay. But my van is very, very crashed. So I'm trying to keep myself together because I'm safe. But it's looking very bad. So I'm gonna show you in a bit. So we think it's a drunk driver that crashed into my car. This is what happened after the crash. I don't know, even the battery, my stove, everything.
I think that's one of our biggest nightmares as van dwellers, because I know when you're just living in a sticks and bricks and you're commuting, well, you know, if you have a wreck, well, okay, you know, it sucks, but, you know, it happens. If we have a wreck, because they automatically tow your vehicle. If they don't think you can drive your vehicle, or if it's not street legal anymore, then they tow it. And almost all the time it gets towed. So therefore, your house gets towed away, and there you are. What are you supposed to do now? Luckily for Susie, a very nice couple, Mike and Shannon, I believe their names were, who stopped and helped her during the accident. They actually took her in for 3 or 4 days and let her stay with them. That is, just when you think you're about ready to give up on humankind, something like that happens and it restores your faith in humanity. Because this couple that absolutely did not know Susie at all, they ended up taking her in and letting her stay with them for 4 days. So they always say everything happens for a reason, and as traumatic as experience this is for Susie, who knows, maybe she actually made some friends for life. You never know. But anyway, these two total strangers actually took her in, gave her a place to stay for 3 or 4 days until she could catch a train back to, I believe, London. I'm not sure where she was going, but she caught a train from Scotland back to her boyfriend. And then somebody out of the kindness of their heart actually ended up helping her get her van over to somewhere else, closer back to Germany, I think, to where she's actually originally from, or where she needs to get her van to. So Susie is kind of in limbo. She doesn't know exactly what she's going to do. She doesn't know what they're going to do with the van. Basically, the cops have kind of just like acted like they have better things to do, so they're not really pursuing this guy that ran into her, because he was a hit and run and ran away. And even though they have his car, he left his car behind, he's given them the story that he sold the car that morning. And the cops seem to be kind of buying this nonsense. And so Susie is in a bad way because the insurance is really not going to help her out because of what's going on, and that the cops really aren't doing anything to catch the guy that hit her. So she's in a a very stressful situation. So I wanted to report on this story, one, because it affects the van life community, and two, because Susie is... Now, before we get into this, I just want to say I'm not into the e-begging either. If you look back at any of my videos, if you look at anything I've ever done, you will never ever find me asking anybody for money. I don't do it. I have a Patreon page I set up probably 2 or 3 years ago. I've never asked anybody to sign up for my Patreon, and I don't have any Patreons on there, and I don't ever promote it or anything. I just kind of set it up one night in a whim and never used it because I wasn't even sure exactly how it worked. And even after I figured it out, just never have done anything with it. So I have nothing against Patreon or the people that are using Patreon. I'm not too high the people that run Patreon nowadays, but other than that, Patreon is what it is, and I don't have any problem with any van lifers that are making money on Patreon. It just hasn't ever been for me. Maybe this year will change. Susie, on the other hand, she set up a GoFundMe to help her out. And even though she's got 190,000 subscribers and she should be doing pretty good on YouTube, I think this is a lot of added expense on her that has put her under a lot of stress, and she doesn't have a lot of options. So if you are a broke van lifer and you don't have any money, I'm not suggesting you go over there and donate to her GoFundMe. But if you're like me, you have a little bit of extra money, because I live in a van and I save money a lot of times, you might go over there and just drop her $1, drop her $5. She's not asking for a crazy amount of money. She's asking for $10,000 so she can get her van fixed or get out of that van if it gets totaled out and get into another van. She's around 4,000 now, I believe. I don't think it's e-begging. I mean, she'll probably get accused of it, I'm sure, because the trolls all come out anytime anybody asks for anything if they're having any kind of life difficulties on YouTube, because, you know, nobody should ask for money on YouTube or expect anybody to help them out on YouTube, because then you're a POS e-beggar. I get it. So anyway, but the other people that might be interested, I'm going to link Susie's GoFundMe. It'll be the first link in my description down below. So you can head down there, and if you want to drop Susie $1 or $2, you could hit her GoFundMe page. She did it very nice. She did a whole complete story about everything on her GoFundMe. She took some time to set it up, which was I was very impressed with. So if you would like to help Susie out, go help her out. I'm going to link her channel down below, and go check out her video and leave her some positive encouragement in that video if you would. And please tell her that Rav at Nomad News sent you over there if you don't know who she is and you're not subscribed. And she's a very pretty Asian girl, and I'm into pretty Asian girls. So if you like Susie, she's got a boyfriend though, so don't get crazy. Plus she's in Europe and you're probably not. But anyway, head over to Susie's channel. If you like her content, subscribe, and check out her GoFundMe, and leave her some encouraging words in the comments, because it doesn't matter who you are. Every now and then, we could all use some encouragement. And I forgot to say, not only did she wreck her van, after she got back to either London or wherever in the UK she was going where her boyfriend lives, she had her wallet stolen. So now she doesn't have a passport, a license, a passport, any identification or anything. So now she's trying to take care of that. So for my last van story in my last episode of Nomad News, another van couple was having some really bad luck with their van stuck, Max and Lee, their van stuck in the freaking LA port. And Susie's having horrible luck at the beginning of the year, wrecking her van. And it was her first wreck. So again, as a van dweller, not only do we lose our vehicle, we lose our house. We're SOL. And watching her video really set that home for me, because I have a big vehicle, and I just don't ever think about wrecking it and what would happen if I did. But it really made me stop. Watching her video, it really made me stop and go, whoa, if I was to wreck like this and they tow my vehicle away, I'm going to be standing there in the road with nowhere to go, really. I mean, I'll have to call a friend of mine, probably Noah Sargent, to come pick me up or something. But I'm going to be homeless. And that's something for us to really think about. And maybe I'm going to start looking at some avenues of just in case something like that were to happen, what I need to do to get myself out of that situation or make sure I'm not sleeping outside on a park bench for the night, which I wouldn't want to be. Anyway, guys, I want to touch on this really quick. In one of my other videos, I had actually talked about Schooley Palooza and not knowing what was going on with Schooley Palooza. If you're not familiar with Schooley Palooza is the event that happens usually around the same time as RTR. And Schooley Palooza is not, last year wasn't too far, it was like 6 miles, I think, from RTR. And it is the school buses. It's a lot of people mostly with school bus conversions. Everybody's welcome. My friend Sarah and I, we took our RVs over to Schooley Palooza last year and spent 2 or 3 days. I ended up doing a few tours of buses. I'll actually link one to Little House on the Road or Little House on the Highway. I can't remember what their bus is, but I'll link that. I'll card it up here, so the card will slide out if you want to watch that tour I did of Schooley Palooza last year. So Schooley Palooza this year looks like it's going to be from the 20th to the 27th, and it's going to be in Ehrenberg. So it's right in the same demographic time-wise as RTR, since we all know that RTR is going to be starting on the 18th, and it'll be going to the 27th, I believe. So if you're not familiar with RTR, if you're watching this video and you don't know what RTR, it's the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I don't really give any description of it because most of the people that are watching my channel already know what RTR is. So anyway, we're about a week away. Well, we're 10 days away. This is the 8th, so we're a few days away to the RTR, 10 days away. It starts on the 18th. If all goes right, I plan on being there on opening day. I just got so much crap going on though, but I do hope to be there on opening day. I've been keeping up a few of my friends, and it looks like everybody's kind of converging there. I believe Tom and Lori from Tom and Lori's RV Life, my friends, I believe they're already in Quartzsite. I think the bread trucker, Paul Barger's pretty close. VanLife Sheldon's, I don't think they're coming this year. They might show up and surprise us. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of moving towards Quartzsite because it's getting close. I hope I may end up leaving a little bit early. I doubt it, but hopefully I will be pulling into Quartzsite at least on the 18th. Last year I got there a couple of days early. Sarah and I got there a couple of days early. Not sure if that's going to happen this year, but I'm looking forward to RTR, and I hope to see some of you guys there. My buddy Noah Sargent is thinking about bringing out a bunch of equipment and us doing some podcasting and live streaming if we have good enough internet service. So I'm going to go out there and check it out and scout the location and see what's going on out there. And if all looks good and there's a lot of people out there, my buddy Noah is going to probably show up on the 20th or so, and we're going to try to set up a live broadcast and do live broadcasting from RTR. So we'll see how that works. It's nothing written in stone yet. We got to make sure that there's a good enough internet and that there's going to be enough people right there at Skad and Wash, which is where I plan on going back. And hopefully my friend Paul Barger and I are going to set up a step van row there, just like they had last year. So that's the plan, Stan. Well, you're probably not Stan, but that's the plan for me and I think a lot of others. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Nomad News. I thank you again for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. Look, we don't make any money off thumbs up. We don't make any money off comments, but it helps push our videos out there in the YouTube stratosphere universe and gets us more traction in the YouTube algorithm. So help a guy out, help a fellow out if you would. And if you're going to be at RTR and you would like to do a podcast or meet me in person, you can hit me up at nomadnewstv@gmail.com and maybe we can schedule something when I get out there. But anyway, guys, again, that's going to do it for this episode of Nomad News. And remember, everything you ever wanted is sitting right on the other side of fear. Peace. Damn trains.